Yeah, we find her, that beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So go so the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us in your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. Within it took a long fine eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing eye. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe, shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from the planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl, beautiful girl. Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look, I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace of her presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'm a go-getter. Since I'm a go-getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world. Anything for my beautiful girl. Psych. Ooh,
It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
What is going on? Welcome back. My name is Ola, coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Welcome back. We're having a midday show. Okay, once in a while, when I do have some time, I will come live, and then we can chop it up. We can talk about some of the stuff that's going on the internet land. Welcome back. My name is Ola. Like I said again, shout out to you, Prestige family. I know this is not your usual time. Nonetheless, the show must go on. As you're coming in, do me a favor, hit that like button, share, and subscribe. This is the Men of Prestige. On this platform, Men of Prestige, basically, we believe that we believe that how do you say that in English, right? Everything flows from the head down, right? So leadership is key. We do have we have men, women, they're all part of the Prestige family. So over here we talk about relationships, power, seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence, patience, and love. And then if we have some time, we'll talk about marriage. There's a lot of conversations going on around the internet about relationships in general. None of them, literally none of them, okay, maybe one, none of them addresses seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence. Everybody's on the defense. Everybody think that this is about, hey, for me, good to see you. For me says, wow, I love this time. It's 5 p.m. in the UK. All right, we'll see. Welcome for me, right? So a lot of people just want to play this romantic game in defense, and it's just not gonna work. It will never work. I don't care how much prenup you sign. I don't care how many postnup you sign. I don't care how many fans and castles you build around yourself. It's not going to work. Okay, so what is going to work? That's what we're here to talk about, right? We're here to talk about those things that will work: seduction, attraction, emotional intelligence, self-awareness, self-preservation, particularly at an emotional level. Those are the only things that work when it comes to these things, at least long term. Okay, why? Because human beings and emotions, they're nobody's mate. Emotion will be anybody's mate. Okay, that's why we're going to talk about this. Okay, so today we're talking about this young lady. We're going to be reacting to. So she became extremely big over the past 1 year or so. 1 point something million subscribers, right? So we have to talk about it. 1 point million something. So what am I talking about? We're talking about Pearl. JustPearlyThings. She's her name is JustPearl. Her name is Pearl. I guess that's her internet name, something like that. I think her real name is Anna, something like that. It's a lot of people coming out saying they know who this girl was. She's just out there to finesse men, young men, impressionable minds. Don't get it twisted. There's some 50, 60-year-old men also falling for the crap. It is what it is. Listen, I can't hold her accountable. She's 26 years old. There's nothing I can do with this with regards to accountability. Okay? There's no experience. If I hold her accountable, there's a good chance she won't be able to comprehend what we're talking about. So, but my main concern is the audience, the people that are watching her, all those 1 million people. If I can help one person out of those 1 million people, that's perfectly good enough for me. All right. So if we get some good response to this video, we will talk about it too. What does this have to do with what we talk about men of prestige? She talks about relationships for the most part, but she talks about it from the side of the ass. Okay, so particularly because there's a lot of truth, quote unquote truth, stats, data, statistics that's been spewed. The problem is interpretations. Okay, the problem is application and interpretations, and that's where I come in. Listen, I let everybody else start the conversation. I will help them finish it for those that care to learn how this works in real life. Okay, and that's what we're talking. That's what we're talking today. So we've got a few videos to react to. Where did the thumbnail come from? She calls modern women, modern wives, shitty wives. Okay. Now, how she would know, the only way she would know what a shitty wife is reading books. And books have limitations. Being book smart has limitations, massive limitations, massive blind spot. Why? Because it's black and white. It's there's a far distance between that black and white and So, but with that being said, let's add some background music. Let's have some fun talking about this. Okay, let's have some fun. I'm gonna react to some videos. The first one is probably, let me just go ahead and open them videos right now, and let's get through it one by one. Let's see what she had been talking about. She had been talking about a lot of stuff. Okay, so let's deal with this one first.
A lot of you guys are shitty wives.
But where's your man?
Whoa. Listen, it's just one sentence. Ola, don't take him out of don't I say him. Maybe she's been acting like Brother Pearl, right? But she's a she. She's pandering to men for the most part. I think, like I said on the previous segment where I kind of prepared you guys for this episode, I believe that she's buying into the nonsense she's spewing, particularly because she has no experience, But there's a few people responding to her on the internet. One of them is this, because and I must say, shout out to them, because they're actually responding in love with some sign language. But let's play that again.
Point is, a lot of you guys are shitty wives.
She said a lot of you, right? A lot of you. By the way, a lot of you, most of you, all of those different phrases can fall under can be categorized under generalization. You don't have to say all before I know you're generalizing. I just have to listen to your rhetorics over time. So I didn't say all. That doesn't mean you're not generalizing. That's not what it doesn't mean you're not generalizing. It's if anything, you're probably generalizing. Okay. Some, even when you say some, it depends on the full context of what you're saying. When you're saying, after listening to your full context, I might conclude that you are generalizing. Okay, so she did say a lot of you. So a lot can be 10%. What is 10% of 8 billion people? That's a lot of people, right? So, but you can still be generalizing, because again, it depends on your context. It depends on what side of the mouth you're talking from. And oh yeah, but you need to be precise. No, I don't. That's lame behavior again. I don't need to be precise. I can listen to you, and the only thing you can tell me is I don't have to respond to you. Well, I can create content around your rhetorics, okay? But let's keep going. Let's see what she said to her.
Point is, a lot of you guys are shitty wives.
But where's your man? Because you have been auditioning for the role of housewife for a very long time, honey, and you have yet to be.
So a lot of people on YouTube did not realize that Pearl has been around the internet for a while. So she had been around the internet for a while. That's the truth. She's a hustler. She's an internet hustler, a content creator at best. She's a better content creator than she is a wife. Okay, just so we know. And actually, from all indications, she's not a wife at all, right? Now, is it only wives that can tell you how a wife should behave? No. But if they're creating enough content, 6,000 plus videos, 1 million subscribers, let me be a little bit more precise here. 1.39 million subscribers. As a matter of fact, we're making her more popular by talking about this, but I don't care about that. I care about the 3 people that will watch this and will be like, yeah, I knew something was off. Thank you. You know, I care about that one person, right? So 6.7 thousand videos, 1 million subscribers, strong, right? So let's keep going.
Yes.
All right, so that's the first one. That's where the title of the thumbnail came from. What did she say? She said, shitty wives. LOL. Well, a lot of you guys are just shitty wives, right? And the title says 26-year-old girl checks modern women on divorce, right? By the way, if you're wondering who are those people behind her, these are the real wives, the real housewives of Atlanta. Excuse me. That's them, not them. Anyway, let me go on to share some other videos with you. Let's see what else she's talking about.
Trash. That's common in society, right? Women are trash isn't. Men are held accountable all the time, every day.
All right, let's go back again. She said men are trash is a typical talk in society. Let's keep going.
Men are trash. That's common in society, right? Women are trash isn't.
Women are trash isn't. Well, it depends on what echo chamber you listen to on the internet. Okay. It used to be shit. Now we have shit. Now we have men having a lot of time on their hands to say the same thing. And one of their reasons is like, hey, it's time to hold them accountable too, you know. Listen, I get it. If people are misbehaving in society, someone should hold them accountable. I guess tell them they are wrong, right? The question is that at the expense of what? Like, how much time and energy exactly do you have? Clearly a lot, right? Soft life is now the disease of the day for men, for modern men. So they have a lot of time in their hands to put particular attention, shed light on a segment of women that have always been there, by the way. Okay, they don't subscribe to family values. They don't care. Some of them are Instagram. You know, social media made it a little bigger. But more importantly, I am willing to bet that it's because you've been spending a lot of your time consuming content. It could be just watching their ass. It could just be watching their body and watch. You know, you're having a good time. You're visual. Men are visual, right? That's some of the things that we say, right? So men are consuming this content, but a lot of them are turning around after they chop premium breakfast, and they want to shame women, certain types of women, into becoming other types of women. Basically, they're blanketing everything together. So Pearl had been listening to this type of men, right? And essentially, she's repeating their talking point. That's what's going on. That's the reality of what's going on. She's 26. I don't think she knows much about what she's talking about. I don't think she's really taken the time to comprehension. Yeah. Right? So let's listen to what she's saying again.
Men are trash. That's common in society.
Men are trash. That's common in society.
Right? Women are
common than what?
Trash isn't.
Women are trash isn't. Yes, it's true that men like me, you know, men of prestige, men of character, value, people that care, they have a lot to lose. They don't want to be stupid out in the streets because they want to run their mouth. It's very true that it's highly unlikely that you will see me look at a certain type of woman, even if she's trash, and get on the public platform and say, oh yeah, these women are trash. It's highly unlikely that I would do that. Highly. Now, you think you're wiser than... Listen, wait. You think, say you're wise, right? Let me get my... you think say they're wise? You think you're wiser than me? Like, it's highly unlikely that I will become unruly as a man, completely get all over the place, rowdy, and just start cursing women out. You think I would do that? No, I wouldn't do that. Why? That's a question for you to ask. When you're ready for that answer, I'll tell you, okay? But for now, just understand that you are a mumu man. Yeah. You're not wiser than the rest of us, okay? But what did Pearl do? Pearl said, a bunch of 19 and 35-year-old men are struggling with women. So, and no one is checking these women. So let me help check them. Even though I have no experience to comprehend all the way down to the root of what's actually going on. What's the root of what's going on? A lot of these men are not competent to attract good women. Listen, they're spending most of their time watching Instagram chicks. So what they're doing is they're generalizing, categorizing everybody together. Now, let me be a little bit fair, okay? There's a lot more BBLs out here than it used to be, okay? Nonetheless, there's a lot of good women out here. And if you don't get that, that's you. Start asking yourself, what kind of environment have I been spending? Same thing goes for you ladies, right? What content have I been consuming, right? That shapes your thought. That shapes your belief system, ultimately. Because at the end of the day, there's only so many people, there's only so much people in your immediate circle of influence, even on the internet. Yes, you are spending your time inside an echo chamber, and that shapes your thoughts and your belief system and your reality. Yes, that part, your reality, right? So I believe that Pearl is buying into some of these lies. When a lie is being told over and over again, it becomes the truth. Did you know that? Oh yeah, this is why I laugh at people say, I'm just speaking the truth. I'm like, which part of the truth are you speaking exactly? Okay.
Men are held accountable all the time, every day.
So women are held at a higher standard.
No, we're in a low...
She said men are held accountable every day. I think every human being are held accountable just in different ways, okay? From a physical, tangible standpoint, I think you have a lot to lose, like right now, in the next 2-3 months. Yes, men are held accountable at that level more. But on an emotional level, this part that we don't tend to talk about emotionally, women self they collect every day of the week. No one gets away. Who do you think you are?
Your daddy.
No one gets away with anything. It's either you're collecting physically, tangibly, or emotionally. I think women collect more emotionally. Man, we can move on. We get hit with our face because we made a wrong decision like that. Like, let me reshape myself, right? You get cancelled like that, you get picked up, you end up in jail for no reason. Maybe because it's the Matrix, and my bad. But you get the gist, right? But women, yeah, everybody, we're going to protect them. The society is going to protect them only at that tangible level. The part where a lot of people can't protect them is actually the most costly one, at an emotional, mental level. Yeah, nobody's talking about that, right? Yeah, let's keep going.
Offer less to men than ever. The average age of first... No, we're in a low... We offer less to men than ever. The average age of first men...
Now, how would Pearl know that women are held accountable at emotional, mental level? No, how? She has no experience. She's 26, not married, hustler on the internet, living life like there's no tomorrow. Just basically got money from her father, her parents, according to her. She has nothing to worry about. She's a white girl, right? So that level too, she has nothing to worry about, right? So of course, it's only men that are being held accountable. Now, some men are here right now. They're behind the scenes like, Ola, what do you mean? Men are held accountable more. Exactly. See, again, you're not paying attention to the whole thing, the bigger picture, right? At the physical, tangible level, you're right. You're correct. Financially, yes, you're expected to show up, to have some money, to be able to take care of a family, right? At an emotional level, no. You're literally, you can cheat on your wife and you get to get away with it based off of society standard. A lot of people will say, oh, he's a cheater, but it's not a big deal. It's a man. You get away with that. That's just one out of 2,000 other ones, right? It's called double standard. It's reality. It is what it is. It's okay. Drink cool water, right? All of us, we have to deal with double standard, one level or the other. But what is Paul doing? Paul is like, you know what? Since I have no experience and I have empathy for men, let me help them repeat their talking points, right? That's what she's doing. I appreciate the advocacy for men. I appreciate it, but it doesn't help men. It makes men weaker. Okay, ladies, if you want to defend men, please feel free, but understand that there's limitations to that. Understand that that's not how men become men. Men become men by going through challenges of life, particularly all the surprises that comes with the fact that they have to deal with emotions as well, because they think they're logical. I don't have to deal with emotions. Yes, you have to deal with emotions. Yes, even emotions from men, even when you are just their manager at work. Oh, you didn't know? Yeah.
Value purity.
Do me a favor. Where hit that like button. Thank you. If you're just coming in, hit that like button. Thank you so much.
In youth. Purity, youth, beauty. Women are fatter than ever before, we're older than ever before, and we're less youthful than ever. Women are fatter than ever before.
Women are fatter. Let me speak it in our strong accent. Women are fatter than ever been before. What part of the world does she live in? She's reading books. Okay, she's living in the manosphere. That's what it is. Let's go back again.
Women are fatter than ever before.
Fatter than ever before.
Older than ever before, and we're less
wait.
before. We're older than ever before, and we're less youthful than fatter than ever before. We're older than ever before, and we're less youthful than ever getting married, and we have more bodies than ever.
Less likely to ever get married. We're more what? Bodied.
Ever getting married, and we have more bodies than ever.
We have more bodies. What world did she live in? A world of a 26-year-old young girl that doesn't know anything about life. Women have always loved kerewa. Have always loved sex. Have a lot of sex. Have the older they get, the higher the body count gets. On an average, across the board, right? Yes, women traditionally were more, shy away from the idea of talking about sex, not performing sex. But I don't know. Paul wouldn't know that, right? A lot of young men wouldn't know that, right? A lot of lame men wouldn't know that, right? Because they live in this fantasy world where women, they don't talk about sex, conservative, right? Yet, there was the baby boomer generation, yet people are having more kids than people are having kids. They're not falling out of the skies, right? Yes, women may not enjoy, as much as they can, not as fast, right? But it's delusional. It's delusion to think that women don't enjoy sex, okay? It's lame behavior at best. They do. How they get to it, how they walk through it, how they walk through this world of kerewa is different from a man to a woman, yes. But it's delusional to think that, women are carrying more body than ever before. Women have more body count than ever before. No. Women are getting older more before they get married. Yes. That means naturally, yes, they might end up in a bedroom with a few more people, right? For sex. This is just the reality, right? But we have a bunch of men obsessed with the idea of women having more body count, right? That has always been a thing, right? But the problem is that when you can't detect a person's lifestyle unless they tell you a number of body count, that's the problem. Not the fact that women have always been what they've always been, right? Social media is also helping a lot of things. expand, but it is what it is. There's still a sector of people. As a man, you live in this generation. It's your responsibility to learn how to pivot, adjust according to the times that you live in, without consuming yourself. You have to self-preserve yourself, your mental health, your emotional stability in that process. Because this obsession will kill you if you're not careful. Okay? And basically what you will end up doing is you will say all women are the same. You start spending more time consuming more content that repeats your talking point, content like Pearl's content, and it will become your reality. Because again, there are 8 billion people in the world. You can always find an echo chamber that confirms your biases. Okay, let's keep going.
So we bring less to the table than ever. How many women have a cookbook?
She said we bring less to the table than other. That's not true by any ramifications of that sentence. It doesn't make sense. Women are incubators. They multiply everything you bring to them. So how could you possibly bring more to the table? It's not possible. Listen, if you bring turmoil to a life of a woman, she'll multiply it for you. Is that what you mean? But she's bringing something to the table. You can stop at the fact that she will multiply whatever you bring to the table as a man, right? But of course, if you're obsessed, well, what do you bring to the table? What are you talking about exactly? Money? Something tangible? Less body count? Virginity? Is that what you're asking? Because even the answer to that question, you're not really ready for the answer to that question. It's men that say these things. But Pearl says, I've listened to men. I'm 26. I haven't been able to. I've been struggling with having a relationship. So I think it's because I did something wrong. I think these are the things that I did wrong. Let me fix myself. Not only that, let me recruit more people to fix themselves. Basically gathering a bunch of people who think they're conservative, but they're delusional at best. It's not realistic, right? Let's keep going.
Less to the table than ever. How many women have a cookbook?
How many women have a cookbook? So, how many women? Most women have never had a cookbook. Paul, you wouldn't know because you're not a wife yet. Hopefully, someday, right? So, 26 years old girl, Pearl, just Pearl Things, checks modern women on divorce. We're going to talk about that in a minute here too, okay? But let's go on to the next one here. All right, we have another one. Yes, we have another one.
Good wife if you get married and then you...
Okay, so Pearl says, just look at the title of that TikTok video. Pearl used her logic against her. Oh, this is a gotcha moment. Let's see what it says.
Are you a good wife if you get married and then you gain 100 pounds? Is that good?
Are you a good wife if you get married and gain 100 pounds? Is that an average woman, by the way? She's actually talking to black women. Let's be frank. Okay, again, you don't have to be precise with your words before we know what you're talking about. It's lame to ask people to be precise with their words before you can know what they're talking about. That's on your part. You're lame if you need them to be precise with every word. She's talking about black women. Just in case you didn't get the memo, she's talking about women of color. Okay? But the lame one will say, but she never said that. I know. Listen, I know you. So I've listened to you long enough. I knew you were going to say that, but it's okay. We will address it. We'll help you add context when you can't see context by yourself. We will help you learn how to detect body count if you can't see it without asking for it. Okay? Let's keep going here.
Good wife. I'm just asking, am I off base? Am I off base? And then you gain 100 pounds. Are you a good wife?
I'm going to let this finish playing. She said, is she off base? What do you think?
If you get married and then you gain 100 pounds, is that good wife? I'm just asking, am I off base?
I mean, was there a reason for that? Like, did someone pass away?
It doesn't matter the reason.
I mean, you're not...
She said there's no reason. You think Pearl is talking for herself? She's speaking for modern men. Oh yes, I'm generalizing. It's that time. We need to start generalizing because I need to check everybody. We can't leave any stones unturned. Okay? She's speaking for modern men. If you don't gain weight, you become a good wife. If you're slim, fit, and feminine, you're a good wife. Fit, feminine, inspirational, FBI, beautiful, you're a good wife. That's what the modern man is saying. You see how lame modern man is? It's not adding up. It's not adding up, right? She said, am I off base? Off base? Yeah, inside the water. Let's keep going.
Bad wife for gaining 100 pounds for a reason.
So, okay, let me just say. So I lost my job and refused to work as a husband, but I did it for a reason.
So she just compared a man to a woman. Gentlemen, you are not a woman. Listen, there are technology today if you want to become a woman. Get it together. Okay? So I lost my job, and that's the reason why the finances. Paul did not know that actually happens as well. A man can lose his job and then have to count on his wife to help sustain the ship so it doesn't sink temporarily, sometimes for extended period of time. Extended period. If you're an entrepreneur, you know what I'm talking about. Extended period of time, your wife is carrying that weight, sometimes emotionally, because you're like, we're almost there, babe. We're almost there. We got this. And your wife is supporting, she's rooting for you. What does she bring to the table? This is the reality. This is what it looks like later on down the years when you're not just reading books. This is what it might look like later on down the years when it's not just reading books. So she just tried to compare a man to a woman. Sometimes you have a lot of lame men who compare going to the dealership and buy a BMW, and they compare that to going to the market and finding a wife. Like, terrible analogy everywhere.
Gaining 100 pounds for a reason.
So, okay, let me just say. So I lost my job and refused to work as a husband, but I did it for a reason. Am I a good husband? You know, I lost my job, but I was depressed.
That happens, Pearl. Men do become depressed because they lost their job. Or just in case you didn't know. Oh yeah. Here's the part, okay? We might have less recorded data because men tend to never admit that they're depressed too. They're like, no, I'm just being a man. No, it's just a temporary thing. No, I'm going to be good. And then 3 years later, it's like, you know what? I think I was depressed at that point, like that. Yeah, I had life was a little gloomy for me. I should have done something a little bit better about it. But Pearl would not know because she's 26-year-old white girl. No life experience. The only thing she knows is how she's going to secure a black husband. So let me repeat their talking point. Not because I want to finesse a bunch of modern men. You know, I wasn't trying to lie. Because I was buying into the BS that a lot of black men were spewing online too. BS reasons why they chop premium breakfast, why they went through a heartbreak in high school. They can never figure it out. There's no tangible reasons why this woman will ever dump me. They're just be for the streets.
Not be juju be that.
Now real juju. Black man, you gotta get it together. It's not looking good. It's not looking good.
Husband, but I did it for a reason. Am I a good husband? You know, I lost my job, but I was depressed.
That happens. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Pearl has 6,000 videos out there. If we do well with this video, we'll do more of it. This is relationship talk at the end of the day. Don't forget about that. It's about experience. It's about the modern men, the modern women. They continue to discount experience. But when they open their mouth and they say 2 sentences, I can tell that either you've had a terrible experience or you lack experience. Let's keep going. I think I have one more. No, not one more. I have a few.
Us in here can be considered traditional women. And back then, an average guy could get a traditional woman. And now what does he get? He gets a boss bitch, a boss babe, a girl that's been ran through. He gets an ex.
Shout out to Big Babe. Big Babe, I don't know how you did. We're doing midday. Everybody's at work, I guess. They didn't know I'm live, but I'm live. Welcome, Big Babe. Good to see you. What did she say? She's calling women names, particularly black women. Do you see any other white girl there? Maybe one. Let's see if there's a white girl there. But you can see a black girl on the screen. Most of them are Nigerians, by the way, because she's taping her shows in the UK. They are mostly Nigerians or Jamaicans, or what do you call it, Caribbeans, right? So, but black women nonetheless. This white girl wants to teach black women what 22, 23-year-old and a 60-year-old divorcee has to say about what he desires, has to say about how he sees how he failed in relationships. That's what's going on. I'm just spelling it out, okay? The arrogance is at all-time high, everywhere. But we will keep talking about this. Let's keep going.
None of us in here can be considered traditional women. And
she's right about that. But she doesn't believe what she's saying. She's trying to make a point. Let's keep going. She thinks she's traditional. She thinks she's trying to be traditional, right? Or she's just that good of a psychopath. She was just trying to finesse black men all the while. I don't know which one is it. Let's keep going.
Back then, an average guy could get a traditional woman.
Because it was traditional times, Pearl. We live in the modern times. That is a moving target. It will always be more modern into the future than it's traditional into the past. You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it. But she's right about that part.
And now what does he get? He gets a boss bitch, a boss babe, a girl that's been ran through. He gets an ex-hoe. He gets a born-again virgin.
An ex-hoe. Jesus Christ. A born-again virgin.
Like,
what do I get?
As women.
Yeah.
Wait, did somebody say, what do I get? So I think somebody said, what do I get? Voila. Voila, wow, yeah. These people. The issue here is the people she's talking to are not that much better, by the way. Just so let's be clear about that. The people she's actually having conversations with, they're not that much better off, but they just didn't know how to finesse YouTube. Right, let's keep going.
He's been ran through. He gets an ex-hoe. He gets a born-again virgin. Like,
what do I get?
As women, this is what do we get? We still get protection and provisioning.
So as women, you still get protection and provisioning. First of all, that's wrong English. She's talking about, I guess she's talking about the fact that the man provides. What's the noun for that? Provision? Protection and what? It's not provisioning. Provisioning means something else entirely. But anyway, let's not worry about semantics, right? Are men expected in this time and age to bring protection at a high level and providing to a woman? Is that an expectation in 2023 and beyond? I would argue that it's much more less of a tangible thing. It's still required at an emotional level. This is where women need to understand that you as a woman, you're still attracted to a man that can protect and provide for you at an emotional level. Financially, maybe you are a boss chick, a boss everything, and but I don't see that as the real issue. The real issue here is the expectation, the unrealistic expectations that women should suddenly stop pretending like they have access to better education, more money, right? Opportunity to become a career woman and be able to take charge financially, which means she can also be a protection of some sort, just in case the family is about to become a sinking ship, because the man gets to the place where he lost a job, he lost some business, and the wife decided to support. These things are happening in real life, right? It's the unrealistic expectations on the part of the man that she's regurgitating, especially. Listen, this is not really about power. She just happened to be the face, the queen, the king woman of the black man manosphere right now. That's all it is. But she's propagating, she's pushing the conversation that we need to dissect. Okay, so at best, what she's repeating is coming from men, but their unrealistic expectations, and it's making men looking weak because clearly you can't figure out what's going on. Why is it that they want to be boss babe, boss chick? If a woman comes to me and she says she's a boss chick, I'm like, oh, cool. What do you mean by that? Oh, you own your own company. Wow, tell me more about that. What kind of product? What do you sell? That should be the conversation. You shouldn't be getting triggered, gentlemen. Because she says she's a boss chick, you're getting triggered. You're like, oh yeah, there goes one of those modern women. Is this what's going on with you? These are your problems. You're getting triggered. You're becoming a woman effectively. That's misplaced energy. Nothing good comes out of that. The best that will come out of it is a pearl. She will regurgitate your talking points, and you still will chop breakfast. You still won't want pearl to be your wife either. That's the reality of what's going on. Let's keep going.
Are you sure?
And the average
that they be
salary,
looking for.
the average,
Not.
I mean, okay,
let's
but
hear
here's
some-
the thing: the average salary could cover an apartment, but the thing is, like, women, we want this lifestyle that's not even realistic.
Women and men alike want the lifestyle they want. What they settle for eventually is not what they wanted or preference. Not particularly because they settle, it's because values change over time, right? People start to reflect on life and they say, you know what, that thing I used to value, yeah, it's not a big deal. This person loves me. This person makes me feel safe. Even if they're not as rich as Dangote. You know, every woman, of course, would like to be in a space, not just women. Men would like to be in a space where they don't have to worry about money ever again, right? But the reality is that most human beings will have to worry about money. They have to manage their resources, save money, budget accordingly, build a life that's sustainable, but they can still be happy. They start valuing emotional centeredness, emotional stability, happiness, yes, that part, and ultimately joy. They start valuing that over, I want to be a Dangote. This is across the board. This is not just women. But, you know, maybe Paul wouldn't know that. Because, again, there's no experience. Because it's the audacity for me. It's our fault paying attention to all this garbage. Listen, we need to start having the conversation because 1.3 million people are listening to her. We need to start talking about it. We need to start destroying the talking point as they come. Right? What does she mean by traditional woman? Time machine. That's what she meant. Unrealistic at best. Unrealistic expectations. What are the things that are destroying relationships today? Four things. Building or destroying relationships. Lack of friendship. Right? Confusion with sex. No. Unrealistic expectations. And misplaced pride and ego. Those are the four things destroying relationships or destroying your chances of love in this time and age. Sometimes it's not even, you're not the one perpetuating it. You just happen to live in a time where there's an epidemic of these issues everywhere. Right? That's what's going on
nowadays. Like, we want men that make more than we do, and we want them to pay all of the bills, but it's like, we all have our nails done, we get our hair dyed, we have makeup, we have all of this stuff that costs money because we want this lifestyle. And I've had girls come on my show and I say, would you date an average guy for companionship, but you would have to go down in lifestyle? And they say, no, we're addicted to lifestyle.
So it's unrealistic to ask a young girl, a girl who might be for the street, a girl who is coming straight off of Instagram, who is trying to build her own platform, content creator. It's unrealistic to ask her what would she want, and she won't tell you it's the lifestyle. See, unrealistic expectations everywhere. What do you expect her to tell you if she has no experience like you and she's not willing to start regurgitating talking points for a bunch of lame young men? What do you expect her to say exactly? That she wants to be with the average guy? Nobody, I repeat, even men, want to be with an average person. We all want the best that the world, the market has to offer, all of us. But again, values, it's a moving target. It's changing over time. As you get older, you start paying attention to the little things that you might tend to take for granted earlier on in life. like peace of mind. Like, I just want to chill. I just want to relax. I just want to have a conversation. It's not that deep, right? Men are paying for just conversation from Olosho, just in case you don't know. Why? Because wives don't understand that that's a big deal, right? The things you start to take that you were taking for granted in your 20s and your 30s, you start to value the older you get. You don't ask other people to bring you peace of mind. You carry a certain level of peace, right? So this girl is unrealistic. She's 26. Again, I can't hold her accountable. I don't know how to hold a 20-something-year-old accountable that's regurgitating textbook talking points. I don't know what to do with that, okay? What I can do is, like, she can start the conversation. We can start finishing it for her properly, okay? Pearl is just a fraud. Shout out to D. D says, Pearl is just a fraud. She has perfected the selling strategy for the manosphere and has managed to infiltrate the space to further... D, I think you were the one that wanted to know what my thoughts were, right? I think that was you, right? Managed to infiltrate the space to further create a divide between the sexes in order to make money. She did a hell of a good job doing that. She did a fantastic job. Please, if you're just coming in, hit that like button. Thank you so much. But think about it. Again, it's divide and conquer, meaning the leaders of any group, if you don't allow it, if there's no crack in your wall, the enemies cannot come in. Am I blaming the victims? Well, whatever. But my point is that if you're not competent enough to protect your own community, yes, people like Pearl will come in. They will divide and conquer you. It's timeless. It's a timeless strategy. Okay. All right. She really doesn't care for men's issues. Neither does she have solution. She's not capable of caring about men's issues. She cares about herself. She's talking about herself. I would bet that she just always wanted a black man, you know, and she had been paying attention quietly, you know, and I think she was buying into a lot of this nonsense she's repeating herself, you know. This is Kevin Samuels 40G. Voila. Her points are right theoretically. Exactly. This is why I play for them all.
You're right.
These people are never wrong from a theoretical standpoint. If you argue with them, a mistake that Afiz Baoku made, if you are arguing with them and you're bringing theoretical data, statistics, come and argue and debate these people, you're just as lame, Afiz. Okay? That because you're not addressing the real issue. You're addressing pragmatic, tangible data. Old data, retarded data that's no longer useful. You're not able to read in real time, have a conversation. You can spew data at me. There are ways I will ask you a question that you would destroy yourself in that same argument if I have to be in a conversation at all with you. If I'm not getting paid to be in that conversation, I might just avoid it. Not paid particularly financially, but some kind of value. Sometimes the value is like I feel like I could add some value. If I don't feel like I can add value, I might avoid it completely. If I smell that you've made up your mind and I'm not about to be entertained, if sometimes I want to be entertained by just debating you, that's value for me, right? I would just completely like, nah, it's not worth it. Okay? And most people that have something to lose, that have life going on and other things, they won't engage you either, you know. And we also live in a society of individualism, so everybody's only out for what they want for the most part, you know. Yeah, it's so easy to detect them if you pay. The reason why I want to keep talking about this, the red pill manosphere stuff, is because it's real. It's going viral, so you need to know what's out there in the marketplace and know how to mitigate the risk of it all, as opposed to, oh no, I don't want to have talk about it. Well, it's out there in your face, so we might as well start talking about it, right? She's regurgitating the rhetoric of the men in a certain echo chamber. It's called manosphere, i.e., men that can't get there. She says what they want to hear, but she does not provide any solution. This man should think. She's done a great job finessing them. At this point, I think she thinks they're dumb. but a part of me feels like she's buying into it. Because again, when you repeat lies long enough, it becomes your truth. Not the truth, but your truth, right? Yeah, that was you, right? I know. Anyway, let me go on to another one. I think I have a few more here. Let's see what she... Okay, we already addressed this. Okay, this is another one here.
With your goddamn husband? Then what do you have to offer? What are you bringing him?
She said, you don't sleep with your husband? What do you have to bring him? It's okay. So Pearl, shout out to you, Pearl. I know you don't know any better, okay? Men that want wives, they're not looking for just sex from her, okay? There are other issues involved, okay? This is my guy. Listen, Aziz Owolabi, listen, man, we got to do something together, man. I checked out your channel yesterday. I think I noticed you haven't uploaded something in a while. I think I was looking for... I know you've covered this months ago. You're one of the people that saw this coming long time ago. Everybody go check out Owolabi Aziz. That's his channel right there on the screen. Go check him out. He's one of those few guys that have left his foot on their neck for a while. So, and we will continue to do it because clearly they don't know what they're talking about. We wanted to be patient a little bit before, but nah, it's time we start addressing this. Hey, shout out to you, bro. Good to see you. Hit me up on IG, man of prestige on IG. Let's arrange something. Let's have a conversation. I think our audience will get some value from it because you know more about this space too, probably more than I do. But yeah, so she says,
You don't sleep with your goddamn husband?
All right, so like I said, ladies and gentlemen, young and old men and women of what do you call it, modern times, okay, we don't just want... It's the only... we like... Listen, I love sex. We talked about this with Auntie B when she was here a few days ago, right? Of course, with being here, right? Of course. But if that's all you bring to the table to be a wife, listen, we can buy... Did you realize that sex can be purchased, right, for just a few... Have you ever heard of the urgent 2K? Listen, for a couple of dollars, right, you can knock some off you. If that's all men are looking for from their wives, you know, it will make sense. But it doesn't make sense because unfortunately, this is a half-assed talk. Now, it's just one sentence. Maybe we're taking that out of context. But listen, we've listened to Pearl just enough. Okay? We've listened to it enough. It's a bunch of BS. At best. Okay? But anyway, let's keep going.
Then what do you have to offer?
What do you have to offer if you can't sleep with your husband? Again, listen, ladies, I'm not saying you should not sleep with your husband. That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is Pearl and a bunch of useless, lame, half-ass truth that doesn't really add up, right? But instead of me schooling her, why don't we let somebody else who seems a little bit more matured school her? Let's go.
What are you bringing him?
I've been married. I've been with my husband for 18 years.
18 years.
We've been together for 17. We've been together since we were 17. And he is the kind of husband that people would call a unicorn. He treats me like a queen. He cleans the house. He does everything that most women on this app is constantly complaining about their husband that they don't do. My husband actually does all of that without me having to ask or fight for it at all.
What is she saying? A lot of young women say, oh, but did you help your wife? Listen, that's cute. It's the same. That sentence is the same thing as, did you give him sex? That's the same thing, just on the flip end side of things. A lot of modern people think just because they are buying into the equality talking points in a family structure that they will get away, that suddenly, if your husband is there washing plates every day, right, that suddenly you will avoid life crisis that will hit every marriage. No, you won't. See what the wine mean. No, you won't. Okay? If you're washing that plate every day, the way the human brain works is that it will be taken for granted. you're going to watch it anyway. The crisis that's going to hit you is going to be driven by emotions. Emotions don't care about the fact that you're just doing what you're supposed to do, the right thing. It doesn't care about any of that stuff. It's not a competition. There's nothing wrong with your husband helping you with house chores. That's just supposed to happen in a modern family, right? Especially if you don't have teenage children yet. There's nothing wrong with that. But you think that that's going to fix all of your problem, or to think that if you have sex with him every day, suddenly to be perfect. Not perfect, forget perfect, that it will be good. You have something else coming for you. Okay? Because that sex, because you're doing it every day in that same position every day, is the exact reason why to be taken for granted will get boring. Okay? And human beings will show you who they are. And they will show you how, not with their words. It will be energy. A lot of times they won't even know what is going on with them. It's just boredom. And it's not intentional. In fact, the more you think it's intentional, the worse it gets for you. Because obviously, if you think somebody is want to hurt you intentionally, which is the reason why I didn't like the word weaponizing. Because when you see somebody weaponize something, you're saying they're intentionally trying to hurt you. There's only one way to respond to that. You hurt them back. So that's the problem with certain types of choices of words that we use. Some words are designed to say that person is just out to hurt you intentionally. There's no reason why you should be married to anybody that's trying to hurt you intentionally. No, forget married. That you should stay married to them. You shouldn't be staying married to anybody that's out to hurt you intentionally. The words are important when we're in this context, right? There's a way you respond to certain words, right? So again, this young lady here has been married for 18 years. Since they were 17, they've been together. And she's trying to school the young 26-year-old Pearl. Let's keep going.
He is an equal partner.
She says he's an equal partner. Somebody would take that out of context, right? Somebody would take that out of context. Keep listening to her. You will start listening to be in between what she's saying. You will find out that, oh, she expects him to lead. Let's keep going.
A completely immersed father.
Good father.
I could get up and leave the house right now and just say, hey, I'm leaving without anything else. And he said, got it, cool.
Trust
he
her.
doesn't call me, he doesn't text me, he doesn't, where are you? Come back with none of that.
Trust her, absolutely.
There isn't a day that goes by that this man does not call me beautiful or tell me how much he appreciates me.
Not a single day.
Goes both ways.
Beautiful.
We have an amazing sex life, but that doesn't mean that in the 18 years we haven't had dry spells.
Oh, where dry spells? Google dry spell. What does that mean? Dry spell. Why do we call it a spell? Right? What is dry spell? Let me check it myself. What is that? What does Google say about dry spells? Auntie Pearl says, you're not giving your husband sex. How are you going to call yourself a good wife? The issue is not me pandering to women. No, I'm not trying to make you feel good. I'm trying to tell you you're unrealistic to think that it's only when you're trying to be a bad wife that you will see sex or withhold sex. Is it even withholding? Or you just don't want to have sex? See, if I think my wife don't want to have sex, it's different from she's withholding sex. Those are two same thing. It looks the same thing in real life, right? But the intentions, from my perspective of interpreting what's going on, are different. Somebody said dry spell, it means dry weather, right? There are so many meanings for it, right? Dry spell. The second meaning says a period characterized by a lack of success or productivity. Bottom line is you're not getting the results you're looking for. In this context, we're talking about kerewa. It's not happening. Where she's withholding it, she's weaponizing it. Listen, you're probably right.
You're right.
But there's only one way to respond to that, and it's not positive. Meaning you're going to self-sabotage and hurt yourself. Not her, yourself. Because you're married to this person. Let's keep going. She said, we had dry spell. This is a person that has been through it, right? If you haven't had any experience, how would you know? By listening to people, enough people, not just one person, not just one lame person on the internet. By listening to enough people say, yeah, that's gonna happen. Oh, how do we get around that? Because in life, anything that's worthwhile in life will have dry spell. Even entrepreneurship, in business, you will have moments like content creators. You will have moments where the algorithms is like, I will give you 100 people today. I'll give you 15 people today. Shout out to all 15 people watching me right now. The algorithm is responding to how much you engage my content. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate the rest of them too.
And in 5 of those years, in the beginning of our relationship, he was an awful man.
In the beginning of our relationship, what did she say? He was an awful man.
He was. We were kids. He was.
Okay. She added context. We were kids. What is kids? Oh, because we were kids, we should wait until we're 35 and 40 to get married. Time, you think time now your mates? Time, would you put time on hold for that? Oh yeah, but in time, God's time is the best. You know, I agree with you on that, right?
Oh, you're right.
But you also know that you left the context, right? She said we were kids. I don't care how old you get before you get married. In that first few years, both of you will be kids because you're in a new space that you're not familiar with. And how you respond is not always going to be intentional. For the most part, it's going to be unintentional. It's going to be your core self in very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Reactionary way is how you're going to respond. Some of you will shut down and go in a corner. Some of you will yell at the top of your lungs. Either way, you're going to be a human being. These are the realities. Some books have some good information about this, but majority of the books that's being regurgitated on the internet that's getting viral the fastest, no, they're getting viral because they are lame talks in terms of speed, okay?
Awful. He was addicted to video games. He
was addicted to video games.
I would come in and he'd be playing and I would want his attention and he would fight me about it. It was really, really bad.
These are the realities.
It was a really dark time and I'm not going to go more.
She said it was a awful person. It doesn't mean it was a awful person, but she added context. She said we were kids. Are kids bad people? Trust me. I've seen my kids behave in a way it's like, just awful. Bad kid. Narcissistic, right? Stay with me.
Into details as to how bad it got. Never physical. You know how that changed?
Never physical. You know how some people say, oh, he probably beats her too. No. Sometimes they haven't touched you physically, but what's going on mentally is actually worse. Okay? Sometimes no one has touched you physically, but what's going on mentally is effectively abuse. Sometimes you don't mean to abuse your partner, you are effectively abusing them. No one told you that, right? See, intentions in the poto, intentions all over the place, just messy. The only thing that I'm going to suggest you should be intentional about is emotional intelligence. To drive everything else properly. If you're intentional and is detached or disconnected from understanding how emotions work, yeah, it's gonna be bad. You're gonna collect. You go collect. Okay. Yep. It's not gonna be pretty for you, particularly because honestly, you mean well. So you start asking yourself, what did I do? Tanimo share. Right? It will shock you.
It shock you.
D said, a prolonged period of dry weather, a period of little or no productivity, yes. Antipral is looking for a black man to Wi-Fi. She could have just said that instead of throwing jabs at women, especially black women. She was actually with a dude. Oh my god, I don't have that video. Her ex was some black funny guy on TikTok. who was actually having a good time talking about this. Like, I don't know, that please stop coming to my back channel to ask me about what my ex is up to. I don't know. Right? He was a funny guy. If we continue the conversation later, I'll get to it.
I knew my worth. I packed up my stuff and I left him. And we were separated for about 6 months. And when
she packed up her stuff and left him. They were separated for 6 months. Guess what the lame one will talk about right now? Like, oh yeah, but she was smashing other people in that 6 months right now. Yes, possibly. What if your wife leaves you for 2-3 days and she smashed somebody within that 3 days? Can you handle that? No, never mind. What if she smashed somebody, but this is just in your head, right? As a matter of fact, in real life, she really never smashed anybody. But in your brain, something tells you, you've been listening to this echo chamber, say she smashed somebody else, right? Right? The mother of your kids. Can you handle the fact that, yeah, she felt like you were awful, you were playing video games and then, you know, or she's just not attracted to you sexually. She couldn't do it. She like, or worse, she would lie down there. You can take it. Fine, just take it. Will you enjoy it? I know in your head you think you will enjoy it. If you're a normal human being like the rest of us, you want her to participate willingly. These are the realities of what they never spell out for you in those echo chambers. These are the reality of what Just Pearl would never be able to tell you because no experience, right? She has no experience. And it's actually worse that you're a whole man, that you expect this young woman to be able to comprehend what you're talking about properly in a way that's healthy or productive for long term at least. Listen, Just Pearl may successfully get a few girls to start regurgitating talking points. Long term, could it work? It's not gonna work.
came back asking for me back.
He came back asking for her back. Why would that man go back asking for that for his wife? I guarantee you it's not just sex. Because he can go and buy sex. For that, it's not just that. Right? In life, all of us, men and women, we take for granted anything that's readily, anything or anyone or any whatever that's readily available. It's not, you need to know this. Like, get yourself off the pedestal. You will do it. Sometimes you will do it because you will be talking your high horse righteousness nonsense. Like, she's just supposed to be this. A man is supposed to be this. You'll be doing all that and you're not paying attention. Like, wait. Let me slow down. What is going on behind the scenes at an emotional level that will make a person disconnect from what we used to do day one when we were in love? Paul wouldn't know that. It's okay. And she's schooling her.
I gave him expectations and I said, I'm not coming back unless I see this. And I held up. I held him to those expectations. And I did not come back until he had a job.
Wait, he didn't have a job?
Place for us to move out.
Wait, Pearl will say, oh, she was only there because of the money. This is going to be a long conversation. Yeah.
Not be juju be that.
This is going to be a long conversation. Let me see. Shout out to you, Adewale. Adewale says, when I listen to Pearl, I hear a kid talk. You get it. You completely get it, my guy. It's a child. You get it. She does not believe most of things she says. Yes, she does not believe it. She's buying into it. I think a part of her, because again, truth lies. When you tell it long enough, you will start believing it. Because remember, they're laced with facts, stats, data that you can verify on paper in black and white. So a person who is vulnerable enough or who is dumb enough will believe after a while, will start believing it, right? Even grown men, 35 and above, will listen long enough to the manosphere. They will start to, like, you will see a behavior in your wife, you go back and you're like, yeah, is this one of those things they're talking about? Something that you can relate to, like, before you know it, you will just destroy your own relationship. right? Very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous thing that's happening actively right now. People are losing their wife, they're losing their husband. In fact, I know an example of a person that has lost their husband because of this kind of things on the internet, on social media. All right. She does not believe most of the things she says. She's saying it for content, money. She was doing something else before all this management. Yeah, she was on TikTok doing something else. She's a hustler at best. He went back to apologize because he understands the value. He can see the value. There's clarity. Sometimes when it's in your face like that and they're just there, right? They're not going to leave anyway. From what you know up to real time, they're not going to leave anyway. You don't know the future, right? So you take them for granted, not necessarily intentionally. It's just life. Life is happening. Priorities are different. They're all over the place. You don't prioritize your partner because they are going to be there anyway. You get to it when you get to it, right? This is how it happens in real life. No matter how good you are as a person, right? These are the real issues that's making people end up in divorce court. Not because somebody did not have sex with their husband. That's symptom. There are other things going on the line, things going on that are usually never addressed, or someone like Pearl is not capable of addressing. Okay, so there you have it. He went back to apologize because he understands the value she brings to his life, not just Kerewa. Exactly. Shout out to Natu Afana. Marriage is not one size fits all. People need to learn. Application. We come here, we talk about application. We come here to talk about application. Very, very important. Okay, let's finish this.
We were living with his parents at the time. And within 2 years after that, we had our first baby. And that man, the man that is my husband today, that literally...
Can you hear my husband? Can you see the kind of pride that's shooting out of her face when she said my husband today? Can you feel it? Or do you need her to spell that out in math and science, STEM language for you to get that? Right? Can you see in her face and her eyeball? She has no makeup on right now. Quote unquote feminine. Look, pearls on all the time. She has no... Can you tell that this woman is in the space right now that she's like, it was worth it all? Can you tell yet? Are you able to tell? Or you need me to spell that out? Well, we'll continue to have this conversation anyway. So, there's lame people everywhere on the internet, both men and women. People that lack game. They don't know what is going on behind the scenes. All they see is like,
is the almost perfect man. Okay? That man is the...
Why did she say almost perfect? She really wants to say perfect man. But she said almost perfect because she's being humble. She's applying humility. Like, you know what? There's always room for growth, right? But really what she's trying to say, do you see the eyeballs? Can you see that she's glowing? Can you see it? Are you able to recognize femininity when you see it, or you need someone to put on makeup and regurgitate your talking points? Are you able to recognize a feminine woman when you see one? When she says one or two sentences? Or you need her to say, oh yeah, these hoes are from the streets. We need to hold women. You need her to be telling you that all the women on the internet are shitty wives. Do you need her to say that before you can recognize a feminine woman? These are your problems. These are the issues. Right? These are the issues.
Complete opposite of what he used to be. And why is that? It's because I put my expectations up. And because if he wanted me, he was going to have to reach those expectations. So ladies, stop listening to crap like this girl.
When it got really bad, she expressed her expectations. Right? When a man not working in this time and age, right now in this space we're in, a woman can't feel safe and secure. So it's not doing her any good to stay in that marriage just so they don't call her she's there for the money. She's a gold digger. It's not going to do her or him any favor for her to stay there if she doesn't feel safe and secure. And yes, finances can tamper with a woman's sense of security in a marriage. Is that not reality?
Who obviously has no experience whatsoever. You keep
She's talking about Pearl now.
to reach those expectations. So ladies, stop listening to crap like this girl who obviously has no experience whatsoever. You keep your worth up. You keep your expectations up. Because a man that truly loves you will build a rocket ship to reach those expectations. Okay? And do not settle. Ever. Don't ever settle for less.
Yeah, I agree with her. Obviously, there's some context to expectations there that we will continue to talk about. Manage your expectations, of course. But of course, there's certain bare minimum, not bare minimum, there's certain expectations that you don't settle for anything that feels abusive on your end. Ever. I don't care how much talking point you've regurgitated from any echo chamber online. Don't settle for anything that make you feel abused as a human being. Ever. It's not worth it. There's no good fruits that will come out of it. What's the point? It's pointless. The only thing you do is end up hurting another person. And when you feel hurt, you will hurt other people. That's what's going to happen. Okay? Some things are just not worth it. Okay? Let's see. Let me share this one. Let's see. Just Pearl. Oh my God. This girl, again, I'm not saying this because I'm trying to be nice to her. I really honestly feel like she doesn't know what she's talking about more than 95% of the time. Yes, more than 95% of the time. She does not know what she's talking about. So it's I can't take her too seriously is the point I'm trying to make. Okay. So let's go through this video. This is a whole video. We're going to, let's see. She was basically arguing with this guy on divorce. And this is, there's a little bit more context in this. Let me see. Life would not say African men and they are probably left the group chat. They are here. Trust me, they're here. They're probably just busy at work. I know. I'm seeing the numbers. Our men, they're showing up here and they're really getting a lot of value out of here. So they're here. The number, I told you that our numbers of men here grew in the last 1 month, grew by more than 200%. They're here. But I know what you mean though. Some of them can't handle this conversation. But if they can't handle this conversation, they will end up in a divorce court. It's just a matter of time. Or worse, a wife who will stay married to you and make you collect water. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. So this video is called Heated Debate with Destiny and about divorce. Let's go. Let's listen to this. Let's see what we're talking about.
College-educated women initiate divorce 90% of the time.
I don't know. What do the stats say? Isn't it that usually people aren't happy in their relationship?
Let's repeat.
College-educated women initiate divorce 90% of the time.
College education women initiate divorce 90% of the time. Data stats. Remember, keep in mind when we're analyzing these things, they are right from a theoretical standpoint. Okay?
You're right.
Yeah, they're usually right from a theoretical standpoint. The disconnect comes in application. Okay? Let's keep going. So she's talking about 90% of the time, college-educated women are the one who initiates the divorce. That's true in terms, I've seen that data, right? But Destiny is going to ask a question.
I don't know. What do the stats say? Isn't it that usually people aren't happy in their relationships?
It depends what study you look at. I've looked at like.
No, it doesn't depend.
Sometimes it's financial.
This is the part where you ask Pearl for context, and she doesn't know where to go next.
You be mumu.
This is listen. This is where you ask this is where you ask her for context, and the cap will start coming out, right? But shout out to Destiny. Destiny is a lot more masculine than majority of the men that are in this people space. Okay, yeah, I said it. Yep. Destiny is I think I heard is a bisexual man or something like that. I'm not sure. But again, what does that have to do with anything in these conversations, right? It's not relevant. It's only lame people that would think this is relevant, right? But let's keep going.
Sometimes
I've seen infidelity, I think, as a high one. I've seen people are just generally not happy with the relationship.
Irreconcilable differences.
That's Esther. Esther is a Nigerian who started building her own platform from being shamed on this platform. She got dragged woto on this platform because she's modern, femininity, not feminine, but feminist. That part, right? Let me see who came into my studio. Oh, of course, Natu Alpha now.
I did. I had to join.
Let me play this. Hang out with me. Let me play this thing a little bit.
No problem.
All right. Let's see here. All right.
As well. I was just curious, anecdotally.
I don't know very many divorcees with college degrees, so I can't really say. No.
Oh, okay.
Why, do you? What do they say?
I mean, I don't ask.
She said, They said, do you know anyone? I said, I don't know. I don't know too many college degree people that are divorced. And then they're like, do you? She said, Just listen to the tap.
Differences.
Irreconcilable differences.
Financial, sometimes.
Financial infidelity.
I think, is a high one. I've seen people are just generally not happy with the relationship.
Irreconcilable.
All right, these things are not causes of divorce. These are the symptoms after the fact. These are underlying things that happen before it shows up as infidelity, or it shows up as finances issues, or before it shows up as obviously irreconcilable differences. It's like it's a vague term, right?
Differences. That's one as well.
I was just curious, anecdotally.
You were just
I
curious.
don't know very many divorcees with college degrees, so I can't really say. No.
Oh, okay.
Why, do you? What do they say?
I mean, I don't ask them. They're like my mom's friends. I don't go. I don't ask them for the behind the scenes of their divorces.
Do you feel like, asking that question, you feel like something in college makes women want to...
No, I mean,
something
I feel like
in college
have a hard time. I mean, I think it kind of goes back to like women out earning men have a hard time respecting the men.
Oh no, she went for the
Did
finances.
She go to college?
Oh, this girl went to college. She's 6 feet woman who played some kind of sport or something like that. She went to college. I think she went to college. She's educated.
The part of her saying that she don't ask them, but she's still making reference to it. Like, just take for example, like me and you, like that school in Nigeria. Have you seen people writing WAEC that will copy answer? They will ask you, what does this mean? And you just say that's what it's for.
They just get stuck. Yeah. They just get stuck. Let me play a video for D. Thank you so much, D, for the £7 donation. I appreciate you. And I have to play this for you. All right. Wala.
Nigeria don't report to Atikosa Wakalu.
All right, let's talk about these percentages. This young girl said, is this something about college? Well, maybe because they suddenly have a sense of better options. Maybe they feel like I don't have to deal with crap. Maybe they feel a lot more empowered because they're college educated. So if they sense any form of crap, even when they're wrong. Yes, they could be wrong. They will pull the plug. They have the options that people from 50 years maybe don't have 50 years ago. What do you think, Natu?
Sorry, say that again.
As this girl asked, she says, "Is there something in college that make them divorce?" Is that what you're saying? This young lady right here.
Asking that question, you feel like something in college makes women want to...
No, I mean, I feel like women just have a hard time.
Right? So is this something, she said, is this something in college that makes them?
I think the answer that she would give that will fit into this is because they are more exposed now. They are more aware of their environment and what their rights are. And you just feel like most times people tolerate things that they know that they don't have any like information or education about. So going to college, you're more exposed. You talk to people from other different, from other different backgrounds. You hear stuff that on a normal day you have no information about. And it's just like you in the school and know that they give scholarship, but you don't know they give scholarship. And then your friends are collecting scholarship. And somebody says, "Oh, you go to this person," they'll give you like, "Oh, really? That's what I have to do." They're like, "That's all you need to do," and you end up getting it. You understand what I'm saying? So basically, that's what it is. Women become more aware.
Yeah, exactly.
And they understand that most of these cultures they are man-made cultures. They are man-made ideas.
Yep.
Just like
it's awareness. It's the same exact reason why men from 20, 30 years ago used to stay on the job for 40 years, and these days they have options. They don't have to, they can, it's the same exact thing, But of course, let's see what Pearl has to say about that.
I mean, I think it kind of goes back to like women out earning men have a hard time respecting the men they're with.
She said because women are out earning men. First of all, that's not true.
That's not true.
Yeah, but let's keep going.
That's not true.
That's not
Oh, everybody say that's not true. Jesus Christ. Everybody saying that's not true. What are you talking about, Pearl?
I think it kind of goes back to like women out earning men have a hard time respecting the men they're with.
That's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true.
I actually read into that data.
It's like they're like no be juju be that. Listen, now remember, there's a stat, it's a data, something that she just said that's true on paper. It's in application when we start like, what do we learn from this? What do we learn from this? This is where they fall apart. Let's keep going.
It's not true. I read into that data and it explained why. So a lot of time the women reported that they had way too much responsibility in the marriage. So they were expected to be in charge of the household duties and still work a job. And they had to...
Oh, come on. What percent of modern women actually cook?
Wait. That is, but that's
20%.
Now, if we ask her, say, Paul, do you cook? She will say they're shaming her or speaking sign language. The truth is that most people don't cook as much as they used to anymore because they're also working, right? But the also truth is that many women still cook. They're still expected to cook. Not only that, they expect themselves to cook because it's a thing of pride for a typical woman. They're like, cook for my husband, I cook for my family. Like, I try my best to cook for my family. But I don't know if she's expecting them to cook every meal of the day, every day of the week. I'm not sure. What do you think, Natu?
I think that's what she is assuming. But women, it doesn't happen like that anymore because, like you said earlier, like everybody works now. So a husband that understands how kind of like leniency for the wife because she's back and might be tired or not want to cook, and you respect the fact that she cannot because there are other things that she contributes in the house too.
Yeah.
Which back in the days, like most of our mothers don't work.
Yeah.
And yeah, but this lady is just picking out numbers and words. I don't know. Maybe she used ChatGPT.
ChatGPT. Wala. You know. You're trying to get me to play that. Jesus Christ.
I don't know where she's getting her infos from, honestly.
Yeah, she's slow. The stat is true. The issue is why, right? Men are stuck on traditional values that just don't work. They're unrealistic. They don't work
No,
anymore.
they're stuck on traditional values and they still want the modern value like attached. So they want the modern day wife doing the traditional wife thingy.
Yes, they want you to be hanging off of this ceiling fan for sex. But in that same
and then when you finish,
they want
go
a
take care
virgin.
of the kids and go cook.
Right. So it's unrealistic expectations everywhere. Listen, let me keep going here.
20% of the men, when both parents are working, only 20% actually reported to doing household duties. That's scary when you're both working.
I mean, I'm just saying the shit's automated nowadays. I mean, you have a washing machine, a dishwasher.
Yeah, so you have to put it in the washer.
Yeah, so I do have washer in my house too, and to get off my butt to go and put my clothes in it's one of the hardest things ever to do. I grew up washing my clothes with my hands. You too, right? Not too, right?
Yep. Till today, I still do that sometimes.
Oh, you still? Unless you want to punish me, no, I don't do that too. But anyway, to come downstairs and put my clothes in to even just transfer into the dryer.
Yeah.
Sometimes to sit there for 30 minutes or more. It's work, right? So
again, you can even sleep till the next day. They're like, oh, I forgot something in the washroom.
Yes, now. But this girl is still repeating this, like, oh, everything is automated these days, and then completely disconnected from the reality of how these things transpire. Shout out to Adana. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. She says, sis looks like she needs to be in the Bahamas under the sun. Education gives you exposure and awareness. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Being says, I agree. I don't cook anymore as I used to due to just being busy with work, but I am a fantastic cook. I live by myself, so I can get away with not cooking. Yes, but let me tell you something. The reality is that when you become a wife, you will cook in batches. What do I mean by that? Right? Right? You will cook for the freezer.
That's right.
That's if you love to cook, right?
No,
even
but what if you get the man that says, I don't eat frozen food, I like fresh food?
And see, again, no be juju with that, right?
Yeah, but you have to cook in batch. That's one thing.
See, a man that will say that is obviously disconnected from not just what we're talking about, but even the reality of the world he lives in. And that type of man will behave, that behavior will show up in so many other ways. It's just going to be bad. Yep. It's going to be bad until, if he ever gets better, until it gets better. Because he clearly is stuck in a world of fantasy. And when a man is stuck in the world of fantasy, effectively not a man. And that's not a good thing, you know. Because men, part of our job as men is to say, hey, what are the constraints? What are the realities? What are the impediments? What are the risks? That means things that I don't even see yet. That can potentially be a point of impediment for a life that's smooth for my family, not just me, right? So, and you understand that this is a moving target.
The problem that some men have is that act of being selfless. You understand what I'm saying? Like selflessness?
Yes. Yes.
So I feel like that one is like a skill on its own, and it's not a lot of people that have it.
It's a skill.
So like, yeah. So at some point, like that selfish instinct creeps in, and you hear, "What do I stand to gain from it?" Then I don't think this is for me. So
yeah. Hey, D'Souza,
if
we miss you.
Person, marriage is gonna be hard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's real. It's a skill. You said it right. It's a skill. It's this is what we mean when we say game. Skills. For those that say there's no such thing as game, we meant skills, particularly with respect to emotions and social intelligence. Okay, you need more of that social intelligence issue will be called upon if you're a single person a lot, right? A lot, you know. So, but for the rest of your life, honest to be frank, Bingwe says to put the clothes in the washer, dryer, and fold it is a lot of work, but she's trying to measure it against a different context. You know, these days. Well, you're talking about these days. Can we talk about things in these days?
No, but she's saying, but all of those things, people think it's that easy as they say because you have stuff that are automated, but that's energy you put it into it, right? So over the weekend, I had my friend's daughter with me, and I had her for 4 days, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to vlog my mommy moments for the 4 days." Guess what happened? I only had 2 pictures for the whole weekend because I'm going from doing this to doing that to doing that. So it was something that you don't have to do yourself. Even if you have to blend something, you have to walk, go wash the stuff, put in the blender, blend it. It's all time. It's all energy. So I understand it makes work easy, but still.
Yeah. So again, what are we spelling out here? The disconnect between theoretical and theory and reality. This has nothing to do with the woman's incompetence. It has a lot to do with the incompetence of the world as a whole, particularly with respect to as we move into the new times, modern times, right? You can't be comparing what a woman does, a wife does in 2023 to what she did in 1973. It's just
like, honestly, aside that, right, when we're using that statement, like when we say wife material, material come in different kind of textures, and I don't know what other word to use, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
And right, so materials mean different things to different people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you might wear it for this purpose, you might wear it for that purpose. So what a wife might mean to you might not be the same to the other person.
Yeah.
I know somebody that, like, the guy has money, like everything. What he wanted was, he said, I just want a companion. When my head is hot, I want somebody to be calming me down. That's the only thing that he wants. Like, I don't want a woman that will bring anything.
Yeah, they want peace of mind.
Exactly. That was the only thing that he was going for, and he got it. Do you understand what I'm saying? But for that, he might be like, oh, I want a woman that will contribute to the bills. She will take care of this. She will have to do this. No, that one say, I will pay for help. I will pay for cleaner. I will pay for so you understand? So what is wife material? That's the question. It's not the same.
What do you call a wife
material?
This will be the argument. I can tell you right now, that this will be the argument. A wife material. Let's start with the Antipora's talking point. A wife material, number one, stays in his marriage. It's a commitment, it's a duty and commitment for him for a lifetime. She's not just gonna leave just because she's college educated. She's not just gonna leave just because she's making more money. Am I making sense? Based off of what Antipora just said, she cooks. Okay, that's what a wife material is to her. And let's listen to the rest. Let's see.
Daily Harvest now has a lot of different.
Let's get that skipped.
Men still don't do.
Sure,
you can say, but as much as it's automated, men still don't do it.
Yeah, still don't do.
That's the point. That even as simple as automated as all these things are, men still don't do it, right? But that's not what Antipora was trying to say. Antipora was trying to spell out that divorce is caused by people that are not wife material. What is wife material to Antipora? Let's go.
They still don't do it. That's the issue. Is that one of the big problems with households
for divorce?
It absolutely is a reason.
Sure.
When you
she can't comprehend the idea that chores can become a reason for divorce.
You get older and you manage a household on your own, Pearl. You'll see how fucking annoying it is when you're working and then you come.
Annoying is a key word. It's mental. It has nothing to do with how hard the work is. Just the idea that somebody left their shoes, you could have easily put the shoes right next to the thing where it's supposed to go. They left it right next to it, but they didn't put it properly. That's annoying. Oh, you don't see how that can end people up in divorce court. Again, 26-year-old girl talking, right? Let's keep going.
Yeah, if you're married with somebody that has OCD.
OCD,
Yeah.
OCD. They have to diagnose people with OCD, right? Right?
Yeah,
This is a condition, right? It's a condition, is what I mean.
Yeah,
right?
but when some people that are not like clinically diagnosed, like when you go to their house, you see the way they arrange things, the way things are in a certain way, and you cannot move them, you cannot touch this. One of my friends, you can't walk on that carpet with a shoe.
Right.
The shoe has to be in a certain place when you come in.
Right.
So when you marry somebody like that, you have to know the person. You see, this whole English and this thing that people was doing, people have just mixed up, or I don't know if I would say messed up or mixed up the definition of what marriage is. People have different opinions of marriage.
They have different
definition of what marriage is. And so that's why all ideas are conflicting, because
This is why it's confusing.
Conflicting, like the whole ideas are conflicting. What she's saying is conflicting from what other people are saying. So if you sit down to ask what marriage means to all of them, you see that all of them have different perspectives, and Auntie Promise, her own is a different.
No, but in this conversation, let's be honest, there is a clear division here. One person is one side, the other people are on the other side.
Yeah, but what makes her going to the one side? If we have if we know what, like, if people have one definition of what marriage is, if we have one idea of what marriage is, that's why I say people go into marriage for different reasons.
That's the point we're getting to, right?
Some people go into marriage for poverty alleviation. Some people go to marriage for happiness. Some people go to marriage for peace. So it's all for
that's what the other side. That's what the other side is trying to explain to her, right? Remember, we're talking about Pearl today, right? That's what the other side is trying to explain to her, right? Because based off of these conversations, 1 million subscribers worth, right? Clearly, it means something different to everybody. That's obvious. Off of today, at least. Maybe in 1973 it wasn't, but today clearly it means something different to everybody, right? And if we're going to bring some kind of structure to it, so people can learn how to do it, to create success in it, we still need to acknowledge first that these days, this thing is meaning different things to different people, right? So yeah, that's the point. And my other point is that OCD is such a big deal. It has a name, but this girl does not see that. She's like, what? Maybe I end up in because of shores. She doesn't get it.
You know, back in the days, like some of our parents, like one of the reasons they get married is to have kids, to have family.
Right.
And to be surprising to you that now that we have people that, like, I don't care if I have kids or not, or I don't want to have. The first time I had that statement, I was like 27 when I moved to America. I thought the person was weird. I went to ask my roommate. I said, "Is she okay?"
Wait till not today. Big Boy has an answer for you.
That man has to know how to cook if he wants to be a different meal every day.
Yeah, he asked question now.
But no, that's what I was trying to explain earlier. If he grew up in a house where his mom is always doing that, that's the idea of what a wife is to him, right? And then now he gets married and he wants the same thing, but the woman he married is not his mom. This woman is a working class woman, and then he's expecting the same thing. He's not ready to like evolve and understand that, okay, this is a new game entirely. How are we going to navigate to make this thing work? But it's just going to be like, this is what I saw happen in my father's house, and this is what I want to.
Right.
It's not going to work like that.
Yeah. Anyway, let me play a little bit. We can't end this today. We have to end it 12 minutes since it's the middle of the day. But yeah, I'm enjoying this conversation so far.
It's fucked up and horrible, and nobody's fucking cleaning anything. That is a totally valid reason for divorce, of course.
Chores, to break up a home.
Break up a home.
Lived in a filthy home before?
You've never lived with a difficult person. If it is consistent, where you're consistently having to have that burden upon yourself, you keep telling him, please, can you clean up?
Like, it's so funny because like lifelong friends from like grade school to high school will dorm in college and then hate each other forever over like bad dorm roommates. And that's
I still have trauma from roommates that don't know how to clean my goddamn pot after they use my pot. I cleaned my pot before and after.
I have a problem with that. But you see, that's where learning comes when you get married. You have to know who you're getting married to. You have to know what their triggers are, and you have to avoid it. Another person is the same. So let me tell you, my husband is very organized. He doesn't want to think about the place. So when we got this new house that we moved into, it has like 4 or 5 closets. My husband just took one closet and gave me all the rest. I said, I don't want to see anything outside. Just
take all this.
Do everything you want to do inside your closet. So
wait. You just said something, right? You just said something that I'm going to push against, right? Before you said this example you just gave, which is fantastic. You said people should know what they're getting into before, right? How would your husband know that you were going to be that person?
No, but that's what I'm saying. When he got into it and he noticed this is what it is, instead of like getting upset on me back to back, he got a way to like handle it and take care of it, so he doesn't have to see it and doesn't have to upset it.
So would you say he settled for you in that respect?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So because some people call that settling, right? I don't think that's settling. I think he sees other value in you that trumps that.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true.
right?
That's
See,
true.
unfortunately,
I
we're
get
in
that.
it. I completely get what you were saying, and I agree with it, right? But we're in a space that these people are so lame. We have to spell everything out in words for them whenever we have a chance to, right? Settling is not necessarily a bad thing, obviously, in that context, right? But settling, why? Because there are other value that, you know what, I can't let this chick go just because of some stupid
Yeah,
cause.
just
I'll
because
give
of
her,
that. I
right?
agree.
This is the reality that someone like Pearl is disconnected from, right? That sometimes we call it, even the word compromise, I don't like them like that, because if the other value that I'm getting is much more
Right.
bigger, I still don't consider it compromise. I'm like, what? This is just life. You don't get everything you want in life. You're supposed to like look at the bigger picture and say, this person is a blessing to
But
me.
you know, another thing that we have to understand that we can't take away too, there are some things that are big deal to people that you have to know and understand. And
Yes.
that's why when Auntie Pearl is saying, oh,
Like
you're
deal
gonna
breakers.
ruin a whole family because of, no, that thing that might just be
It may
little
be a
to
deal
you, it's a big
breaker.
deal to, yeah. So, no.
Yeah, it may be a deal breaker, or like Esther said, maybe it's consistent way too much. Maybe it's annoying. Maybe this behavior is showing up in 300 other area of life too.
Yeah, if that person is giving you like that chance to grow and like saying to evolve, sorry, I say, okay, maybe this is not this person. Okay, I'm gonna tell this person I don't like this. And then if the person keeps doing it, okay, this person is trying to tell me that I'm not trying to change anything. I'm not trying to adjust for you if you're not trying to take this. And the person will be like, you know what? Do this. Chicken.
Exactly. Yep. D Sokwe, I do the freezer thing. Thank God for talking stage, right? This is why one of the reasons why I just said what I just said, right? Talking stage, if he does not like freezer food, we might have to reconsider things. See how she said reconsider? That's perfect, right? Some people say that's a deal breaker about anything. Like, no, deal breaker. Calm down on that deal breaker stuff. Deal breaker do exist, but I'm just saying, where we are right now in this space, a lot of people are struggling to secure a life partner because literally everything is deal breaker for them. They're not taking enough time to even get to know a person and say, you know what? Yeah, that thing is annoying. You know, she smacks her
But like,
teeth
you
when
know,
she's
let
eating.
me tell you one honest thing that people miss. When you sit down and criticize like the other person and say, oh, this, that is a deal breaker for me. Like, have you ever sit down to think about some stuff that you yourself do that the other person has been taking it, that on a normal day, the person can say, I'm not going to take this. You understand what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
But we don't wait. We always think about ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this, that. Okay, let's talk about like the other stuff that you
We're
have.
usually pointing fingers. That's our innate thing to do. So now you have to be intentional and say, hey, I'm gonna slow down and not point finger. What is it about me? Or what is it that I like the most about this person? What is it about me that other people may not like that much? Are you self-aware at that level? You know?
No, some people don't want to be self-aware. They really don't want to be.
Yeah,
like
because we have to continue to repeat those phrases.
They come up with that line.
Self-awareness.
They come with that line like, I love who I am. This is who I am. Self-love.
Sure.
I'm like, bro, stop.
Yeah, sure. You go collect woto by yourself too. Yeah, sure. Like, keep liking yourself. You know, the thing is that liking yourself is good. I like it too. I think you should love yourself, right? But part of yourself is that you're a social being. You want to connect with other people. It's part of your social needs. It's part of your emotional needs as a human being, right? So because you want to connect with other people in a romantic way, you have to pay attention to the other side of that equation, you know. Let's keep going. But I like the word reconsider. I like that word.
It's not even a relationship. So yeah, of course I think stuff like this is perfectly valid. I think splitting up duties in the household is like one of the most important parts of like a relationship, because it's where you're spending most of the time together. This is why I say, people get triggered when I say it, I don't think you're even dating until you live together, because until you live together you don't really know who the other person's like, and once you start living together and you see what the household duties are like, then you get a feel for what the relationship is.
I mean, I just think that, like, I don't know, I feel like that stuff can be worked out. Chores, like,
hold on, wait.
That's the point, Pearl. She says something that makes sense finally, but she's okay. All right, let's.
Do you understand? Wait, hold on, wait. You're not saying anything. Do you do this intentionally? Where you're like, I don't.
She didn't say anything.
telling you that.
I mean, that's you're giving your opinion. I'm giving.
I'm not giving an opinion. In a household, this is not an opinion. I'm putting it forward as fact.
It's not an opinion. Some things, hey, gentlemen and women, lame of the internet land of 2023, everything is not an opinion. Some things we just know because we have the experience. We tell you. See, you're wrong. It's not an opinion. You don't get to have your opinion. You're just wrong. Like syrup, just wrong. Okay? Some things are not, no. Some things, I'm telling you right now, that some things are just not opinion. You're just flat out wrong. Let's keep going.
In a house, delineation of chores is one of the most important things. That if somebody's constantly destroying the bathroom, leaving clothes everywhere, leaving dirty food in the sink, they can't clean their dishes or whatever, like these things will destroy anything over time.
It will destroy anything, not just marriage. Anything. Somebody's like, oh, wow, but why are you listening to this blue ear guy? Why are you listening to? Are you feminine too? You see, that's your problem. That's your problem. And these your talking points will become reality for you. You're stuck on, he's a bisexual man. What does that have to do with what he just said that makes sense?
Yeah, but that's what she said. She said, I'm sure we can work it out. That's
obviously can't, because they're not, though.
He can't work it out. That's why he ended up in divorce. Dummies.
They're not working it out.
Bro, then maybe.
Let's leave that alone. Well, 3 minutes. We'll continue it. I think we might keep reacting to it, Pearl. Let me see here. Natu, are you there? Did you come back yet? I know you said you'll be right back. Because I want to get the last word from you. Let me play a little bit. Let me know when you come back. And then we can round off.
Maybe these women that are making all this money, that, you know, they're making so much money working, and they don't want to do the house chores. Maybe they should go and get an older guy with more money so they can go and employ a maid.
What?
And a cook.
What?
Yeah.
You guys
Maybe
just be saying anything, man.
How's that anything?
Okay, but then,
no,
but then
you got no.
Go and employ a maid. Can an average person employ a maid? Yes, even in Nigeria, because many of you want to say, oh yeah, but you could get a model in Nigeria. Like, even in Nigeria, is the average person living in Lekki and Magodo? Why are we doing this to ourselves, right? The average person in Nigeria, we're talking about average of 200 million people, not average of the 10,000 people living in Lekki. I don't know the population in Lekki, right? It's unrealistic. Go hire a maid.
What? Listen to what you just said. You said they're leaving unemployed maid and do the house chores. Maybe they should go and get an older guy with more money so they can go and employ a maid.
What?
And a cook.
What?
Yeah.
You guys
She said what?
Okay, but then,
no,
but then
you got to put no. What? Listen to what you just said. You said they're leaving the guys that make less money because they're expected to make money and do the house. And you were saying how hard it is because you're at home and you're doing all these chores. Okay, then.
They never said anything about how hard the chores were. They're talking about how hard it is to deal with somebody that's constantly creating a mess, or not being able to help to keep the house in some kind of place. They can't afford it financially, but they also expect a working woman to do that, right? A lot of men are oblivious to the fact that they do this. It's not necessarily intentional. I keep telling you, no one is actively trying to, well, there are, but for the most part, people are not trying to intentionally hurt the other person. They're just oblivious, complacent. They're not paying attention. They lack self-awareness, right? They lack emotional intelligence, right? You need to address it from that standpoint so you can fix it. If you think they are actively trying to hurt you, it's only natural that you try to hurt them back. You won't solve the problem either, right? Even though you're right. Yeah. So yeah, let's not to your back. Let me get some last word for you. I want to round up right now. We will continue this Just Pearly things. I think it's a gift that keeps giving.
I know.
Yep. What's your last word about this? Have you ever paid attention to her at all?
I think after you now I'm gonna check it out, but I don't like. I'm not a big fan of her.
Listen, if you follow me, go check her out because we'll be discombobulating all our talking points because she's speaking from a place.
Just like you said earlier, and like that lady advised earlier, like marriage is not one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
And what is your definition of marriage? What are you going into for? And like you said, all realistic expectations. Like people have to set up a realistic expectation. You know what I'm saying? So and you have to like. I think our culture and peer pressure comes in for people. There's a post I'm going to share with you of a guy that I saw that said marriage is not for everybody. And I said African parents left the group chat.
Yeah.
because they don't believe that. So it's going to be up to you, honestly speaking. But you have to know who you're getting married to. Like for this year, I just decided to lay back in my marriage and do like a self-reflection for myself. Like you said, self-educate myself, like self-awareness, emotional intelligence, like all of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're not married yet and you're listening to this, like that's one thing you really want to work on, emotional intelligence. That thing, like,
Yeah.
it's not more.
No,
If
it's
you
not.
have
We
that,
have to
like,
remain student of it for life.
yes. So if you have that to some extent when you're coming into it, it's gonna help you a big deal. You understand what I'm saying? But I don't think Auntie Pearl has like that much of emotional intelligence with all the things that she's saying. So honestly speaking, that's gonna be my take.
Yeah,
Know
that's
where you're
a
going to.
good
What's the
point.
definition of marriage? What's the definition of a wife? What do you
Right.
want from a wife? You have to remember you're not marrying your mom. You're not marrying your father.
Right.
You're marrying somebody from a different background from you. What was their upbringing? What did they learn? What did
Yeah.
they have to unlearn? What grace do you need to give them? What grace do you need to give yourself? You know, and stuff like that.
Now it's very important because at least if you're off, we can correct you. If you tell me your own what it means to you, I can then turn around and say, okay, you're off. That's not realistic.
Right.
You go collect with that. If you think that's what marriage is, right? I'll be like, okay,
Yep.
let's adjust here and there. You know, let's think about it this way. What about this? We can have a conversation as opposed to you making up your mind off of a completely unrealistic, archaic value system that simply doesn't exist today.
Right, and I just hate when people shut people down because, like, if you don't agree with somebody, it's fine. It's very okay to disagree on some certain things.
Yeah.
But you shutting people down because of making people's like feelings or emotions invalid because like you're gonna leave marriage because of somebody doesn't know how to organize. That's a big deal for him.
That is a
And
big
if
deal.
that's a deal breaker
Yeah.
for him, that's fine. You
Yeah.
cannot like shut whatever his idea or emotions are just because you don't feel that's what's the idea of marriage. Your idea of marriage is. So.
Yeah, just like Adebusola said, shout out to Adebusola. She said, "Sure, is slow mode." Yes, bro, it's a big deal. She said, "Even maids grumble and complain if you're too messy." Yes, that's a fact. Even the people you are paying, it was like this people are worried. These people that I'm living with, they'll be
giving me
chatting
too
with their
much work.
friends. They'll be chatting with their friends. I said, the people that are
And they're
with
giving me
them,
work.
because they are friends with other mates and they know that certain people are just a-holes about how they make messy things for them. So yeah, that's a nice one, Renato. Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. I come back
during
tonight. I didn't
during
even
the
know you
week
were
I want to
live.
keep it. Oh, which one?
Today.
Oh yeah, during the week I'll come up randomly whenever I get a few that I can, and I feel like the topic is hot enough. I'll come on and I'll do, but I'll try to limit it to 2 hours,
That's
so
fine.
that we can get back to work, But yes, we do. Thank you so much,
No
We'll talk soon.
problem.
All right. Bye.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right, let me do a quick shout out before I leave to D again for the $7 super chat. Before I leave, I'm gonna play the dance for you a little bit again, and then we'll call it a day. All right, that's it for today. Oh, thank you so much, D. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that's here. Big Bay, everybody. Shout out to everybody. D'Souza, Natu that came on. Everybody, Adebusola. Shout out to you. Sunshine, I see you all. Shout out to all 16 people watching me live right now. Hopefully, you've been enlightened, educated. We can't finish this Just Proud Things conversation one day. We just have to keep talking, okay? I'm not interested in determining or detecting if she's a racist or not. I could care less. I want to discombobulate all 6,000 multiplied by 6,000 stupid talking point that she's grown viral off of. We need to destroy every single one of them, and that's what we're going to be doing from time to time. All right, and then everybody else in that space too. I will be reacting to a lot of the stuff, and we'll be having conversation, okay, and then rubbing minds together. You should marriage is not a fix all or end up be or fix all, the one size fits all for everyone. That's absolutely very true. There's nothing in life that's worthwhile that's one size fits all. You need to create custom plan, strategize, and and things like have a conversation with people that have had experience, people that study this stuff on a regular basis, particularly from a place of application, in order for you to make any kind of real life sense out of these things. If you don't, you go collect big time. All right, so thank you so much to everybody that came on. I will hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.